Hey there, welcome to Plant-Based Made Easy. My name is Chef D Malfi, and on this show, we cook an easy, healthy, and delicious meal right from my monthly cookbook, which I write every single month. And if you want that, you can get the link for that digital download in the comment box. If this is your first time here, I want to welcome you. Thank you so much for being a part of this. And if you have questions along the way while I cook this recipe, please give me a like or a heart or whatever you want. Just no negative comments. And comment on this. Ask your questions. I'm going to engage with you and then share this if you can. Today we're making something really delicious. This is our dinner day. So we're going to be making a portobello mushroom and chimichurri taco. It's really yummy. It's super easy, like I said. So let's get started. All right, the first thing that we want to do is actually make the chimichurri. If you've never had chimichurri before, it is an Argentine kind of like salsa verde, although instead of it being spicy or tomato rich, it's very herbaceous. It uses herbs and vinegar. It's blended together, and traditionally it is a condiment for dipping meat like beef and steak. But because this is a plant-based cooking show, we are going to make something extra meaty without the meat. Whole meat, extra portobellos. So we're making portobello tacos, and we're going to marinate them in the chimichurri and then cook them up. It's going to be really yummy. All right, who do we have here? We have my mom here, Roberta Baumgartner, Marie, Auntie Ree's here, Nisa's here, Sharice's here. I'm very excited that you guys are here. Thanks for following along. All right, let's get cooking, shall we? I'm going to make the chimichurri sauce, and I'm going to do it right here in a food processor, or you can use a high-speed blender. It really doesn't matter. All right, I'm going to open it up and then add some ingredients, and you're going to follow along with me. First things first, we need those green herbs, yeah? So I have my herbs here. I'm going to use a combination of cilantro and parsley. And usually you can use a combination of any soft herbs. Even basil would be wonderful, but traditional is parsley and cilantro. I'm going to hold my herbs in a vase with water, just like you would fresh cut flowers. It's super important to hold your herbs this way because your herbs are going to last a really long time. This cilantro right here, I got this about 10 days ago from my CSA Farm Box. It was delivered to me from Farm Fresh to You. I highly recommend getting a CSA Farm Fresh from Farm Fresh to You. And if you want to use my discount code, you are welcome to do that. We will pop the link in the comment section. And I want to use this cilantro because it's starting to get a little bit lighter green, and I want to use it when it's super vibrant. So I'm going to use 1 cup of packed cilantro, and I'm just going to use my kitchen shears here, and I'm going to cut it away from the stems and then throw this right into my food processor. And I want 1 cup of cilantro and then about a half a cup of parsley, flat leaf or curly. It doesn't matter because it's all getting blended. Need a little bit more cilantro here. Perfect. There we go. That's about a full cup. And you really want to pack your cup of herbs. It's packed cup and a packed half a cup of parsley, which I'm coming for you next, parsley. So I'm going to grab this, and the cool thing about this recipe is if you only had like stems left, you could totally use the stems. It would work. This is a really good recipe for the stems as well as the leaves, FYI. All right, this is going to go back into my refrigerator. I'm going to pop that in now because these herbs are going to wilt in the kitchen, especially if your kitchen is nice and hot, and we're about to make it hot as soon as we cook up these mushrooms. All right, in the food processor they go. Next, I want to use a little bit of olive oil. So I have 2 oils here. I'm going to use both olive oil and avocado oil in this recipe. But for the chimichurri, I want flavor. So I'm going to use olive oil, and I'm just going to use about 5 tablespoons or so. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I'm not actually making this super specific and exact. I want to just eyeball it. But you can make it exact if you want. And then a couple cloves of garlic. 2 to be exact. I'm going to use my chef's knife here and give this a good whack. Ooh, this is a huge piece of garlic. Is this 1? Holy mackerel. Okay, I think this 1 piece is going to be fine for me because, look, that's a big piece. That goes right in, or 2 small cloves. And then I want a little red wine vinegar. Remember I said this chimichurri is both acid and herbs. And I'm going to use red wine vinegar today because that's super traditional for Argentine chimichurri, which this is. And I love this. This comes from Napa Valley Naturals. I absolutely love their vinegars. They have champagne vinegar, red wine vinegar. If you want to get any of these, I have these on the Amazon shop. So do shop around. We'll put the link in the comment box as well. I like their vinegar because it's USDA organic and it is non-GMO project verified. These are both really important. And then do you see this kind of floating organism on the bottom? Yeah, that's called the mother. We talk about the mother a lot when we talk about vinegar, and that is where all the good bacteria are hiding, and that's what makes vinegar vinegar. So I'm going to give this a shake to kind of separate the mother a bit, and I'm going to use 1.5 tablespoons of red wine vinegar. I'll call that 1, and I'll call that half. Okay, perfect. Yeah, let's do a little question. All right, Cherie says, will you get the same taste if you reduce the oil? Sure, yeah, you'll get the same taste if you reduce the oil because you're going to get that taste of the olive oil. And if you want to reduce it, you can actually cut it with half filtered water. Yeah, it's going to be the same consistency. You're still going to get that olivey, fruity flavor and that herbaceous flavor. So good question. Thank you for asking. And you could certainly do no oil if you wanted to. It just wouldn't be a traditional chimichurri. And you could swap in filtered water and vegetable broth and do a combination. It would be yummy. All right, so good question. If you have any more, shoot them at me. All right, the next thing I want is a little lime juice, about a tablespoon. This lime is really juicy. I can tell because it's heavy. I'm just going to kind of like roll it on my board, open it, and then I'm going to use 1/2 of this for a tablespoon of lime juice. We're nearly there. All right, I also want a little salt and a little chili flake, which I have here. 1/2 teaspoon of the salt, sea salt I'm using. And then a little teaspoon, like a 1/4 teaspoon or 1/8 if you really don't want any heat, of the red chili flake, which I have here, red peppers, red pepperoncini. I always think about it in Italian in my head because one of my favorite Italian chefs, Lydia Bastianich, always calls it pepperoncini, but it's called red chili flake or dried chilies. All right, that goes right in. And then I'm going to put my food processor on and give this a pulse. And it obviously comes together really quickly because it's just herbs. Oops, I need power. Forgot to plug it in. Hold, please. I knew something felt weird. There we go. Power. Power. All right, I'm going to pulse just like a few times until it's kind of chunky and blended. Okay, I need a little bit more vinegar, so I'm going to add some now. And I'm opting in for more vinegar instead of more oil because I want it to be kind of have a nice bite. It's going to be great. Pop it back on. That little bit should do the trick and give it a pulse. Perfect. So if you've never had chimichurri, it's kind of like pesto meets a vinaigrette. And it's really, really yummy. I think that what I'm going to do is actually just pour it right into a bowl here, and then we will pour the mushrooms right into the bowl, right over the chimichurri. So here it is. Let me show you in the overhead so you can kind of just look at it. It's like, you know, looks like pesto, but it's a little bit more loose, liquidy. And I do want to taste for salt and fat. I want to make sure that it has kind of like a good blend of flavor. I don't want to waste any, so I'm going to grab a spatula. Give this a good mix all around the blade here. Remove that blade if you can first because it just makes it easy. I should say. All right. And don't waste a bit. This stuff is like gold. It's so great. You can use this chimichurri on many different things. I love it on grilled tofu, crispy tempeh. I love dipping dumplings in it. I sometimes use it as like a really nice pasta sauce for pasta salad. It's really yummy. Lots of great uses for it. It's great with kebabs. All right. Cool. Let me grab a tasting spoon and give it a taste, which I have right here. Oh, wow. Just like wakes my palate up. It's really nice. I can taste the red wine vinegar. I can taste the fat of the extra virgin olive oil. It's perfect. All right, I'm going to place this aside. Swapping out a spoon for a spatula. And now let's get into our portobello mushrooms. Here are portobellos, and this is what we're going to use today. These are huge. I just wanted to leave them in the container so that you could see what I'm using. The recipe calls for 3, but these are really big, so I'm going to use 2. Usually comes 2 in a clamshell. That's what this is. It's clamshell. That will get thrown away. Now let's look at these portobellos for a second. I want to just make sure they're nice and clean. So I'm just going to show you. These look rather clean to me. I'm looking for any dirt on the surface of them. I really don't see any, but let's say that you saw some dirt. The best way to clean a mushroom is not to throw it underwater. Do not rinse it underwater. Do not take a wet sponge or anything like that, because what's going to happen? It's going to suck up all that water, and we don't want that. So we want to just like remove any dirt with just a paper towel. And you're literally just like wiping the dirt away, all right? That's how we're cleaning it. Now, the other part that some people talk about, debatable, right, is this inside. Do we want to remove the inside? Well, the truth is I don't like to. I want to use every part of the portobello. So I'm going to keep the gills and the stem intact. But if you want this more refined, meaning it's just going to be a little bit more fancy, then you can certainly remove the gills and the stem, but I'm not going to. I really was bothered by that. In culinary school, we used to have to like peel all of the skin off of everything and take all the gills out of every mushroom, and all the stems had to be, you know, used in a stock. But I'm like, why don't we just eat it and just make stock with other ingredients? So that's what I do in my kitchen. So I have these portobellos now, and these are nice and chopped, and I want to keep them as thick as possible for, you know, a quick cook. So I want about, you know, what is that? 1/2 inch to 1/4 inch. Throw this right in. All these pieces go in. And these are going to shrink up, so don't worry. And then give this a mix. You know what? Actually, I think it's better if I use a gloved hand. I'm going to grab some gloves because these are so tender and so delicate that I don't want to break the mushroom. So let me get some kitchen gloves on. And what I'm going to do instead is just, give this a mix. Yeah, they're really tender, so they will break, which I suppose is just fine. But for my photo, got to keep it pretty. I want to really make sure that I get these nice long pieces. Perfect. Great. Looks delicious already, right? And we haven't even like cooked them up yet. All right. That goes there. Now let's get our pan or a pot going. You can use a saute pan, you can use a grill pan, or a pot. I'm going to use a stock pot today with a wide surface area. And I think you can see it here. You can see half of it. I'm going to give you all of it so you can see how big mine is. And I want to get something with a lid because I'm going to quick cook this, but you can do this on a saute pan for sure. And also a grill pan would be absolutely fine. So really get this nice and hot. And then before you add, before you add anything to this, you want to add a little oil because I don't want these mushrooms sticking. Cool. I'm going to use a little avocado oil. Okay, I want a little bit more seasoning for the mushrooms. So now I'm going to make some more seasoning. This is a quick seasoning while this heats up. A little chili powder, which is what I'm going to use right here. You can use any chili powder blend you want, or regular chili powder. I'm going to use a little garlic powder as well because it's delicious. I'm going to use a little salt and a little cracked black pepper, which I have here. I'm going to use a little cumin, which I absolutely love. It's definitely a warming ingredient. And then a little avocado oil and a little lime juice. And by a little, I just mean like a tablespoon of each. And I remember that other lime that we had. Cool. That's going to go in. I'm going to give this a quick whisk with my whisk, and then I'm going to taste it. And then I will pour this into the mushroom mix once they actually go down. So I'm doing this a little bit different than the recipe's written, just so I can go quicker. It's salty, it's super flavorful, and this is nice and hot. All right. Now, mushrooms are going to go right into the pan. It's going to cook for about 3 to 5 minutes. A little of the chili powder, garlic powder, filling, seasoning blend, yum. And then I'm not even gonna touch them. I'm just gonna cover them and let them kind of steam up because I really don't want them to break up. We've taken a lot of time to get this ready. And I wanna keep that kind of large piece of portobello mushroom. And I always get confused. Sometimes they're called portobello and sometimes they're called portobello. I don't think that there's a right or wrong. I think that they go by both names.
I'm just looking it up.
Yeah, it goes by both names depending on who actually grew and you know, harvested the ingredient. Now, cremini mushrooms, if that's all you can find, are baby portobello mushrooms. So you can use those as well and just have like little tiny street tacos. That would be so yummy. And now is a good time to actually get and talk about all the other garnishes. So for these tacos, I'm going to garnish with, of course, tortillas. I have some tortillas here inside of, I've already cooked these up or just griddled them to warm them inside of my tortilla warmer, which is really, really yummy. And I want them to be nice and crispy, like chewy soft, but also kind of like crisp on the outside and warm. And then I want to use a little avocado, a little lime juice, a little salt maybe, and then some shredded cabbage. So now is a great time to shred up your cabbage, to open up your avocado, kind of get things working, get things ready. I'm going to swap out my tasting spoon for another spoon. Perfect. That will be there. This will be here. I forgot to mention too, if you wanted to use any other vinegar, let's say you don't want red wine vinegar because it has too much of a bite. I know a lot of people here in our community are cooking for their families, including their children. So if this red wine vinegar is just like too bitey, go ahead and use something like coconut vinegar, which has like a sweeter flavor. You could even use flavored vinegars like the orange vinegar, any of the kind of like fruity kind of forward vinegars that are flavored with fruit juice concentrate. Those would work well too, and that would kind of balance out the flavor to make it more kid-friendly. Yeah? All right, cool. I just want to make sure I didn't miss anything. I'm kind of modifying this as we're going. Cool. All right. So I'm going to just check out the mushrooms here with my, I think I actually want to use a heat resistant tong just to make sure. How are we doing? My goodness. Seriously, this looks fantastic. Yum. Yum, yum, yum. Now, if you wanted to, you could actually just make the chimichurri, and then you can save the chimichurri for garnishing. But my portobellos were really big, and when I was kind of thinking this through and trying to figure out how do I do this quickly, I wanted to use some of this chimichurri in the cooking pot here just to kind of speed up the process so that it soaks up the chimichurri and gets really delicious. And you guys, I was like, you know, thinking about this as I was writing this recipe a couple months ago, actually now. I was like, well, how do we like make this particular recipe kind of different from everything else? The reason I decided to do chimichurri portobello tacos is because we're going to be doing a lot of festive food for November and December. We already did a lot of festive food for October as well. And I like to break up my meals, especially during festive moments, with different kind of things that are like not seasonal, that are kind of like user-friendly any time of year. So things like tacos, chimichurri, herbs, vinegar, things like this. All of these things are kind of like you can do this recipe any time of year. And it kind of breaks up the monotony of all of the maybe pumpkin spice everything that you're having right now, right? All right, this looks really good. I think what I'm going to do at this point is just make sure my avocado like mash is ready. And I'm going to open up this avocado. I think this avocado is a little bit gone too far, but no, it's all right. There's a couple bits here around the edges that are maybe kind of browner than I want, but that's okay. Let me get a little bowl here and do it right inside of a bowl. That looks great. And I'm just going to probably use half for right now, and the other half I can save for something else later. Get a fork and then give this a good mash. Oh, I forgot some salt. That's going to help to kind of like extract some of the liquid and also start to kind of like almost like in a way cook the avocado, but not really. Just kind of like helps it to get more mashed. And then this is going to be really great, kind of acts like the glue for the tortilla. so that when we build the mushroom tacos, the mushrooms actually stick, yeah? And the cabbage sticks and everything. Perfect. It's like a quick guacamole, but without anything else other than salt, right? You can add a little lime juice if you want, but I'm going to save the lime for my cabbage. All right, so I have my cabbage here. Really important. I'm going to season this up with a little, I'm going to do it with a little vinegar, red wine vinegar. You could use, like I said, you could use lime juice, you could use orange juice, you could use lemon juice, a little tiny bit of salt. And then another tasting spoon. I really love to have a little cup of tasting spoons on hand so I can continue to have clean everything as I'm going. No cross-contamination in the kitchen. For all my clean police out there. Woo! I can like smell and like I'm getting like a vinegar facial. It's really nice, making my eyes water. All right, this looks fantastic. Put that there. Yum. I'm gonna get a little cup of the chimichurri on the side. Oh, it needs to be blue because it's chimichurri after all. There we go. This can just be extra for kind of topping. Yeah. There's not a whole lot, but let's check on these. Let's get these down so it doesn't distract our look. I think you guys were almost there. We're basically there. Yeah. So these, look at how quick these portobellos cook up. These are really nice. And you can see right here, it's really starting to soak up everything. This looks perfect. I'm not gonna take them any farther than this. You can if you want, but it's not necessary. Turn it off. I told you it was gonna be quick, and I told you it was gonna be really delicious. Now, it's time to plate. Oh, I got a little chimichurri on myself. This is gonna go right here. All right, let's do it. Let's get a plate. I'll use this here. A little avocado on my spoon. All right, so let's get into it. The tortillas are here. I'm going to use carb-friendly or whole wheat tortillas, which I found at Trader Joe's. They are wonderful. I absolutely love them. They're called, I think they're actually called carb-friendly. There's nothing weird about them other than they're whole wheat. They're really yummy. Make one for myself, which is on the cutting board, and the other one for my photo. Yeah. All right, so I need a little bit of the avocado. That's why we only needed to use half. And this is going to be super filling. Like I said, the portobellos are like meaty, chewy, lots of texture, lots of flavor, so much flavor with the chimichurri and the seasoning blend that we made. Really flavorful stuff. Perfect. I think I'll do cabbage first, actually. And the portobellos will kind of weep the cabbage. The warmth of the mushrooms will kind of cook down the cabbage just slightly. Not really, like not actually cooking it, but just kind of like make it weep a little bit, you know? Throw that down. And now fill it up. Just like go for it. I would do like 3 or 4 in each. Yeah. This looks great. You can serve these on a platter, kind of already made up in your tortillas so people can just grab and go. Here, I'll show you this. Look at this. This is a delicious, this is the way it should be looked at. Portobello chimichurri taco. Super yummy. Really good. This looks so yummy. Very, very, oh, I need a little bit more chimichurri. What am I thinking? Just a little bit of this fresh chimichurri that still has this green color. And like I said, these have been like soaking in the chimichurri, so you don't need that much. It's like perfect amount that we had left over. It's great. And that's just going to give it an extra pop of green. I'll show you. That kind of just like wakes it up a little bit. Yeah. All right. You don't need any lime juice or anything truly because this has so much of the red wine vinegar that it's like ready to go. I'm going to give it a little taste now. Yum. Before I do, I just want to give this food a little gratitude. Thank you, tacos. Thank you, mushrooms. And thank you, God. Here we go. Wow. It's so darn delicious. I don't even know how to describe it. Truly, it tastes kind of like, it tastes like steak, you know? Like, maybe it's because I haven't had steak in a really long time. By long time, I mean like, what? Not that long, like only like 6 months, but it's really good. It's rich, juicy. It's has a really nice kind of like chimichurri acid flavor, but not over the top. I'm telling you, it's really great. I even think like my nieces and nephews might even love this. This is not too strong of a flavor for kids. So yummy. One more bite. I just made a huge mess on my cutting board. My gosh, is that good? So yummy. Mom, you're going to love this, Mom. If you wanted to make yourself some plant-based yogurt, which is also in my cookbook, you guys can make that. Skip ahead. Go. Actually, that was last week. No, skip ahead. It's this weekend's recipe. Plant-based yogurt is really easy to make. It kind of tastes like yogurt meets sour cream. It's yummy. It's really kind of like Greek style yogurt. So it's thick and delicious. Or buy yourself some plant-based sour cream, drizzle it on. If you wanted some extra creaminess, I like this just as it is. I get the creaminess from the avocado. So don't skimp on that avocado. Don't skip it altogether. You guys, if you make this recipe, if you change it up at all, you swap in something. Let's say you used spinach greens as opposed to cabbage or a different kind of mushroom. Take a photo, will you? And then pop it in our Facebook group, Plant-Based Made Easy. We are 2,300 people and growing, a global community, people from all over the world. I'm so excited to be a part of this community. Even though I created it, I'm starting to build friendships and with people from all over the globe. I had no idea there was so much interest in plant-based cooking. So join us, please. It's free and it's really a fun group. You guys have a wonderful rest of your day and come back for more. We have 2 more recipes in store for you this week. And remember, today is Wellness Wednesday. So please do something kind for yourself and for your health. And I will see you tomorrow. Peace.